Ever stop to think how much those little impulse buys on your phone are adding up to, and how many subscription payments are sneaking out of your bank account every single month? Before I started using Rocket Money, let me tell you, I had no idea. But the first time I logged in, I saved $435. I couldn't believe it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I just love the dashboard. It shows everything in one place, even the subscriptions you forgot you signed up for. And if there's something you don't need, Rocket Money helps you cancel it. Plus, it alerts you if a bill increases or if something unusual pops up in your account. It's basically like having a personal assistant for your money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/Kim today. That's rocketmoney.com/Kim. rocketmoney.com/Kim.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of August 31st, 2024. Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour one.
Okay, listen to this incredible story from Kentucky. Last year, Chase Cooper found out that he had a type of kidney cancer. Doctor says, all right, you need a brand new kidney, but you're going to have to wait 2 to 5 years on the transplant list. Well, Chase has 2 kids, and he's like, okay, well, what would happen if I went on Facebook? His post got shared over and over and over until it caught the eye of a total stranger, a gal by the name of Hannah Durbin. And she quietly went to get tested to see if she could be a donor. She didn't tell anybody. Turns out she was a complete match. She reached out to Chase's family, and then she was, of course, the donor. I mean, we talk about all the bad influences of social media all the time. So every once in a while, it's nice to have some good news coming out of Facebook. And on that happy note, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And if you're a brand new listener to the show, where the heck have you been? But welcome. And if you're a regular listener, you look amazing, darling. I'm, of course, Kim Komando, your beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. And you have tapped into the most trusted, the biggest show, the best show, the award-winning show about all things digital. And you can find us on over 420 top stations across the United States. And we're also streaming as a podcast, as a webcast, inside the Komando community. And if you'd like to get the Kim Komando Show commercial-free, well, there are 2 places for you to go. That's Apple Podcasts and also Spotify. Just search for my last name, Komando, of course. And that would be with a K. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, reaching over 375,000 American service members serving in 175 different countries. And I just love this. 200 ships at sea get the Kim Komando Show. Yes. All right. I need 2 things from each and every one of you. Number 1, tell one person about the show. That's it. And number 2, drop me your questions. Head over to komando.com and hit that link that says email Kim. Alrighty, every single day, I go to at least 35 different websites to make sure that you and I are both up to date in what's going on in the tech universe. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about tech right now. We're going to start with popular apps like TikTok and Lemonade. Now, you know, they have strong connections to China's Communist Party. And it's not just the apps, the TV in your living room, your phone, the Wi-Fi, even your smart refrigerator. Well, this past week, listen to this, okay? FBI Director Christopher Wray was in Washington giving a speech talking about how China is the defining threat of our generation. But you have to listen to this part.
China's hacking program is larger than that of every other major nation combined. In fact, if you took every single one of the FBI's cyber agents and intelligence analysts and focused them exclusively on China, forget Russia, forget ransomware, forget North Korea, forget all the other stuff, China's hackers would still outnumber FBI cyber personnel by at least 50 to 1.
Oh my gosh, 50 to 1. Those are really, really bad odds in our favor, right? Let me tell you something. And so China wants to be the world's superpower. Their strategy, they're weaving their way into technology that runs our everyday lives. They're going to wait for that perfect moment to strike and then disrupt our entire economy. And moving on to number 2, it's not just China. Let's talk about Russians because they're coming too. There's another massive tech ban on the horizon. This time it's not TikTok, it's Kaspersky Labs. Yes, founded back in 1997 by Eugene Kaspersky, who studied cryptography at the KGB, sponsored universities, became one of the world's leading brands in cybersecurity and antivirus software. Get this. Over 400 million people, 240,000 companies use Kaspersky around the world. So the government has always been wary of Kaspersky, that Putin and the Russian government could anytime just force the company to hand over private data that they've been collecting on U.S. users, even surveil our citizens. Now, Kaspersky, I can tell you, they have always denied all these allegations. Based on executive orders from both President Joe Biden and Donald Trump, the U.S. is preparing to possibly ban Kaspersky from offering products and services here in the U.S. The ban could be announced as soon as this month. So if you are using Kaspersky products, you need to stop. If you are using Kaspersky antivirus, I want you to stop right now. Go to Total AV. That's what I want you to use. Protectwithkim.com. Just $19 the first year. And that's protectwithkim.com. All right, number 3. Oh, we talked about TikTok. Now we have to talk about Temu. I know. Shop like a billionaire. All those Super Bowl ads, and they sell stuff really super cheap, like $20 wedding dresses, a $3 Bluetooth smart speaker. And you're like, oh, these are great deals, Kim. I love it. Well, how do you think you're really paying for this? All right. If you signed up for a Temu account, you gave them some personal information, right? And they have these cash incentive deals, right? You refer to a friend for money. Well, ExpressVPN did a little digging and they found, wow, if you have Temu, you got to listen to this. You give them permission to use your photos, your names, your voices, and a whole lot more, potentially forever, everywhere. Yes, that's right. So here's the deal. If you get an offer to sign up for anything that has a cash incentive, do some deeper digging because I bet you are the product. Moving on to number 4. Yes, Cybertrucks and Apple Vision Pros. What do they have to do in the same sentence? Well, let's start with Cybertrucks. After years of delay, some folks who spent up to $100,000 on a Cybertruck saying that, oh, it broke down within a minute, just a mile down the road. The car's showing rust. The steering is awful. The rear door is going to chop your fingers off. As for the Apple Vision Pro, it's too expensive, $3,500, $4,000 by the time you buy all the extras. There's really nothing to use it for. So people are returning it. Some woman got like 2 black eyes from using the Apple Vision Pro. So how did these 2 products come together in one story for you? They both were supposed to be revolutionary, but not so much. And finally, this coming in at number 5, I made a prediction at the end of 2022 that Google search was going away. And I had all these people saying, oh, Kim Commando, you don't know what you're talking about. Google can never be replaced. All right. It's 2024. And folks, we are watching the Google search site die. It is dying. It's not just because of ChatGPT. The new generations are not using Google. I'm talking about Generation A, Generation Z. They're ditching Google instead of using it. They're using TikTok and YouTube because they say they get better search results. About 25% of all 18 to 24-year-olds head to TikTok before Google. Well, that's a bad thing. Yeah, Google's still the top dog, and we still go there to look up stuff. But here's the thing. At one point, no one would have ever thought that Google, the most powerful website in the world, could be dethroned. And it's happening right now. All right, coming up, we have a new thread at the gas pump to tell you about, and also a question that I've been getting in my email lately and also on social. What exactly is the dark web? And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me. You don't want to miss that. You're on the Kim Commando Show. Okay, so you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 right now. You will be the coolest kid on the block ever. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. I'm giving away an iPhone 16 and it might have your name on it. winfromkim.com. All right, how about we start with Nancy in Santa Rosa, California?
Well, I have received as a gift from my company as an anniversary present something I've been yearning for many years. It's a Roomba 694 room vacuum that it just goes and you don't have to do the vacuuming yourself. And being a dog lover myself, I have a dog too. And there's plenty of dog hair for this little Roomba to pick up.
There's always dog hair, isn't there? Oh,
there is. And we have a breed that supposedly is non-shedding, but he still manages to shed a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you one thing is that, I built a house and one of the things that the architect wanted was a black floor. in one of the rooms, and I was like, there is no way I'm having a black floor with a golden retriever. Okay, it's just
No,
not
absolutely
possible.
not. You can cover no ills with a black floor when you have a golden retriever.
But you know what? The Roomba works great. I'll tell you. I mean, and what's nice is that you can program it to do its own thing when you're not around. And so when you come home, you're like, nice.
Well, I hear wonderful things about it, but here's what put me on alert is that when you open the box, the plastic bag that the Roomba is actually packaged within has a little sticker on it that says, before you open this, go look at this website. My husband is a retired computer programmer. I have a lot of fear of technology because of what he knows and has shared with me. So we chatted about it. I looked online and I saw that these vendors who process film from these Roomba vacuums to help program the vacuum to work better in people's homes, some of those vendors had actually posted on social media some of the footage from these Roomba vacuums.
Yeah, but see, but your
stuff.
But your model doesn't have a camera.
It doesn't?
No, it has sensors. So there's no camera to record video feeds. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be careful. I mean, but it uses primarily sensors. It's not one of these, I mean, I hate to tell you this, but the company did not buy you the best Roomba, okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm not surprised there.
Cheapos, they cheaped out on you. But on the
what's the best Roomba?
Oh, I can't think of the model number that I have. It's pretty expensive. It's, I don't know, about $500-600 right now versus the $200 model, $300 model. I'd have to look at the exact one that I have. But I know that the 694 does not have any cameras on it. It uses sensors. But, you know, there is something that you still need to look at. You want to make sure that you opt out of any data sharing. That's going to be inside the settings. You can also limit app permissions so that this way it's not going to have permission to say, share your location, have access to a microphone. I mean, you know, and the camera and mapping reports and device status and all that other stuff. And if you're ever concerned about not just the Roomba, but anything else that you put inside your home on a Wi-Fi network, is that what I want you to do is to do what I do, is that you set it up on a guest network. And so you have all your good stuff on your primary network, right? I'm talking about your laptops, your phones, and, you know, Chromebooks, tablets, TVs, or maybe not even your TVs. But anything that may have access outside the home, that's where you put it on your Wi-Fi network. Your husband can totally set this up. But I'm talking about your smart appliances, your smart vacuum cleaners, you know, your washer machine, whatever it may be, is that you keep that on the guest network. And the whole idea is that if, in fact, all these internet connected devices, one of them gets hacked, it's not going to affect your primary network. It's only going to affect things that are on the guest network. And so I wouldn't worry about it too much because after all, they didn't get you the latest and greatest and with all the cameras. But, you know, if you are concerned, again, opt out of data sharing, limit the app permissions, and then throw that sucker on a guest network and you'll be good to go. All right, let's head over to Colorado Springs. Hello there, Nathan.
Well, I was wondering, we recently got an email. We have a credit card with the Citizens Bank, and they sent us an email with a program that they have with Best Buy. Okay. It's called Upgrade Plus, and it caught our attention because we are kind of talking about getting a new PC. We've got a 10-year-old in the house and trying to think of how to just get him involved in computers and stuff. We've protected our kids for a long time from everything.
Sure.
And this program is interesting because it basically is kind of like leasing a computer like you would lease your phone.
Right.
And I didn't know if you were familiar with it or what your advice would be for that type of thing. It's really interesting.
Well, you know what? It is an interesting program. I did take a look at it. And basically, you're going to get a $1,000 MacBook, right, for 3 years, and you're going to spend $20 a month for this.
Right.
And then there's a final payment of close to $300. And so, you know, when you add it all up, it's not a crazy amount that you're looking at as far as, am I paying over the $1,000? It's pretty near close to that. My problem with it is that you are buying a $1,000 MacBook that you are going to be using, you're going to be tied to for the next 3 years in your life. And that if something bigger or better comes out, that you're not going to really be able to go get it because you can't really break the lease. The upgrade path is every 3 years. And
Right.
and so you do need to keep it until that final payment. Now, you do get Apple Care for, I think, 2 years out of the 3 years, but then you have to join something else in order to do it.
Right.
But,
I don't know. It's because Apple's last long time. I have a MacBook it's a 2011 MacBook.
And they last
And
forever.
They last forever.
They do.
It needs to be replaced.
Yeah. But think about that. 2011, you've had this thing for 13 years. Okay.
Right? I know.
Okay. That's a long time. That's a long time. If cash is really strapped and like you said, you have a 10-year-old and you're trying to get them the latest and greatest or some, at least get them into computers in an environment that you can control, for $20 a month, it's not a bad deal. I just would be concerned about hanging on to something for that long, for that period, that long of a time, knowing how fast technology changes. You might be better off, telling you, getting the kid $150, $180 Chromebook, okay, and then not being tied to a program for 3 years because he's 10, he's going to high school. I don't know what he's going to need in high school, and now you're tied to this thing for 3 years. Life changes way too quickly, especially when it comes to kids and tech and what the schools are required. That's why I would be inclined to just get them a cheapo Chromebook, get them up and going. You can control that instead of being tied to $1,000 computer that he may or may not be able to use when he starts entering, the upper grades. And you can buy, like I said, a cheapo Chromebook for $150, $200 on Amazon, and then you don't have to worry about that whole deal of hanging on to it forever. Nathan, thanks for your call today. I talked about this on the show before, and then I just got a slew of questions about it. I'm talking about a website called onlineverdict.com. What it does is it creates these mock trials to let litigators practice and to see how jurors might rule. So the attorneys present their cases, and then you get to be the judge. The review process is super easy, and it's a way for you to make some money. You go through the facts, you read the information, and then you make a ruling along with giving a few reasons why. There's no right or wrong answer. It takes about 20 minutes to an hour, and then you can earn about $60 a case. Yeah, not too shabby. Again, that's onlineverdict.com, onlineverdict.com. All right, still to come, what exactly is the dark web? What is it? Well, you'll know the answer here on The Kim Komando Show. If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, coming up, we have a great tip about what exactly is the dark web, because I know so many people are saying, I hear about it, but I'm not really sure what it is. And also, why can't we just shut it down? And then there's a new threat at the gas pump. And of course, we have your phone calls. But before we get to all of that, the FBI is now warning about tech support scams that have taken in, $542 million in about 6 months. And it all starts with your bank or government warning about a computer hack. Okay, they're not doing that. It's just scammers, okay? It goes like this. You get a call from someone to work for your bank. They tell you that, a hacker from a foreign country is all over your account. And they say, you've got to move your money to a safe government account, and you need to do this right now. Okay, it's not a safe government account. It's the scammer's account. So what can you do? Be skeptical. If you get an unexpected email, a text, a phone call, warning about a data breach, just take in a deep breath, okay? And before acting, always check the source. You want to verify the message with the bank or with the agency. Okay, here's the deal. Never wire money. Don't send any gift cards. Don't go to an ATM and get a whole bunch of Bitcoin. That's the scammers' moves that they do every single time. Now, if you're sitting there saying, Kim Komando, I know this. Why are you telling me this? Why are you harping on this? Okay. Well, because I bet you that there are some people who are listening right now who didn't know because they're not as smart as you. They're not as tech savvy as you, which means there's probably somebody in your family that you need to tell right now. So if you have an older adult in your family, I want you to warn them about this. And as a matter of fact, since you're so tech savvy, you say, you know what, if you ever get anything like this, I want you to make sure that you call me and I will walk you through exactly if it's legit or if it's not. Yes, do that now. You might just save somebody's savings. All right, back to the phones we go with Matt in Libby, Montana. Hi there, Matt.
Everybody's a long-time listener.
I know.
I've been listening to you for over 10 years, and I really love the new newsletter format.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
Well, yeah, I actually unsubscribed from kind of the old ones, and then I got this new one, and we just love it.
Oh, okay. I got to tell you something. I know the old ones sucked. They did. 100%. That's why we redid them, so they didn't. They would never be that way again. I promise you. So, what's going on? How can I help you out?
Yeah, well, we've got an amazing dog who is 5 years old in perfect health, about the best dog we've ever had.
Nice.
Except, we just got his blood work done too, and everything came out stellar. But he's been having seizures for about 3.5 years.
Oh, wow.
And Libby is a tiny little town, 5 stoplights. And, not really much stuff that our vet can do. We've been trying all kinds of, different medications and things. So basically, long story short, our vet wants us to take him to the neurology department down at Washington State University. And that's something that we're going to need a little help to do because it's $3,600 to get him down there. So what we're trying to do is start up, a Gibson Go or a GoFundMe campaign.
Okay.
But what I need your help with is we don't really know how to promote it because we're not really big on social media or anything like that. So that's where we're kind of at a loss.
Yeah, and see, it's with GoFundMe or what was the other one that you mentioned? Give, Send, Go.
Give, Send, Go. Yeah.
I mean, either one of them is that you do need to have a compelling story. Okay, so of course you're going to have videos of you interacting with the dog and the dog being a member of the family. Because listen, I've got a 5-year-old golden retriever that. I mean, she is like my child. I totally get what you're saying. I mean, it's and she talks to me. I mean, she really does. And she takes care of me and she knows when I'm down. She knows when I'm happy. I was in the pool last night and she jumped in the pool with me. And I'm like, Abby, I need my space. You know what I mean? Just a little bit of something. So after you do this engaging campaign, you put it up online. You're right. Then the next step is how do I promote it? Obviously, are you on Facebook?
Yeah, but not very active at all. Okay.
Well, in order to promote this, you guys are going to have to start being active. Okay. I mean, it's not like you can just put it on GoFundMe and then you hope that suddenly, somebody's going to stumble across it and then give you some money. So you're going to have to start engaging in social media, start joining some Facebook groups that are associated with what breed dog that you have. What breed is the dog?
He's a Belgian Malinois.
Okay, so start joining some Facebook groups that are geared towards that breed, and once you're in there, that's when you can start sharing the campaigns. On Instagram and Twitter, you want to start using relevant hashtags like crowdfunding and dog lovers and pet health. If you have any email contacts, you can set up an email newsletter with whoever you may know and encourage them to share it out with whoever they know. I would also look at try to narrow down some pet dogs influencers and some pet blogs, so that this way you can maybe have them share your story as well. See, it's all about sharing, right? Getting it out there. Your local businesses, community bulletin boards. I would reach out to your local radio station, your local TV station, anybody who would do a human interest story and then involve the community to support a cause. You know, it's going to be some great content for them. And you always want to keep donors updated on the dog's progress. And if you could find a company, Matt, that would able to match donations for a certain period of time, that's when you can also lower that $3,600 in half or even in a quarter. So you've got different options there. But in order to get started, you know, you've got to have somewhat of a list and to create that story about why your dog is having seizures and what we can do to make sure that this stops. I mean, it's a matter of getting your voice heard, getting it out there. And social media is the best way to do it because that's everybody hangs out, using the right hashtags, telling the story to whoever you can, like you did right here. And when you get your GoFundMe up and running, let me know because I'd like to take a look at it myself. Hey, you know, I'll contribute out as well. And, you know, I'm happy to do so. Matt, thank you for your call today. All right, there's a new threat at the gas pump I need to warn you about. When you do go get gas, you've got that routine down pat, right? You know what to do. You're going to give that card reader a little wiggle. You're going to shake the keypad. You're going to make sure that those tamper evidence seals are not broken to make sure that nobody's going to be stealing your credit card. And just when you thought that you had it all figured out, well, I know it's time to add a few more steps because now there's something called shimmers. Yes, let's all do the shimmy. Shimmers. These are way harder to detect. Seriously, they slide right into the card slot and they target the chip on your card. They can steal the data from your card's chip, your card number, and guess what else? Your PIN. Then the fraudsters clone your card and they go on a complete shopping spree. So how do you fight back? Well, when you're sliding your credit card into the reader, I want you to pay attention to see how it feels. Okay. Is it a little bit harder to get it in there? Is a little bit resistance? Is the card getting stuck along the way? Those are some red flags. And also want you to take a good look at the card reader too. Make sure that it's not tampered. But I'll tell you, the best bet for paying for gas is to not use your credit card at all, your debit card, is that you really want to use Apple Pay or Google Wallet, because then you're not using any type of physical card. You're just going to tap your phone right to pay, and then it's just a heck of a lot safer. It has a really high levels of encryption. That's Google Pay or Google Wallet. Now, if you just sat there and said, I don't know how to set those up, Kim Commando, well, that's why you need to call me. I'll help you out step by step, as well as we've got a lot of instructions over on the website at commando.com. That's with a K, of course. All right, still to come, what exactly is the dark web and why can't we shut it down? And of course, we have more of your phone calls that you don't want to miss here on the Kim Commando Show. All right, Kate in Palm City, Florida. Hi there, Kate.
I am having a dilemma with my computer. By the way, I've been listening to you for 100 years at least, and have always told all my friends about you. And I have lots of good. I've gotten a lot of good information from you over the years. So
awesome.
You were my first call.
Yes, perfect.
I am an interior designer, but I don't really do a whole lot of stuff with CAD, but I have a little project that I'm working on for myself. Mm-hmm. And I used to have, I can't remember who the maker was, but it was a program called 3D Architect.
Okay.
And I know this was in like 1999 or 2000. And it allowed me to, draw out the walls and the windows and all of that kind of stuff on a, two-dimensional on the computer. Okay. But then I could put in my cabinets and put in furniture and put in doors and walls and windows. It was really simple. And, but then it also had a 3D feature. So you could almost be like
You could walk
sitting on the
through.
roof,
Yeah.
looking down at it. And it's not even necessarily a walkthrough that I need. I just want to see how it looks from up above at a slant, like you're actually seeing where the doorway
Sure.
goes and can you get through it? And,
I get.
and all
yeah,
that kind of stuff.
yeah, and I think I do remember the program that used. It was just like, here, pick a cabinet or pick a couch and put it here, and then put it there, and it was relatively simple to use.
But it also did things like the architectural features, like windows. Do you want windows? Okay, here. Do you want a staircase? Here's how it goes. You have to, slide the mouse around to the shape of the. So it did more than just, floor planning. It had architectural aspects to it.
Well, let's talk about what's available today, because we're going to obviously, that program's like hasta la vista, baby, right?
Right.
So,
right.
I spent many years with an architect recently and an interior designer because I was building a house, right? And I'm good at a lot of things, but this is not my forte. As a matter of fact, I mean, even now in my home office and studio, is that I called up Anita and I'm like, Anita, you have to come over and help me, okay? Because I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't want to buy a couch because it's going to be the wrong thing. And then she just came over and like, I don't know how you do what you do, but she, like her, she just like goes poof. And the things appear and it's perfect. I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have thought of that. Like hanging the tabletop on the wall. I'm like, wow, that looks beautiful. Okay. They both use a program called SketchUp. And it's very powerful. It does 3D modeling. You can draw floor plans. You can create 3D models. And it also does allow you to do that walkthrough and that fly through. And you can say, like, you can put a picture of like a 6-foot person, 5.5-foot person, and you can say, how is it going to look from here? It does run in the browser. And I'll tell you, the architect who did our house used SketchUp 100%.
Okay. Well, I've heard of it, but I know it has other elements like just graphic design and stuff, but I didn't realize that you could actually do it with the interior design.
Sure, for sure. And then if you're looking for something not quite so complex, there's a couple of others that are easier to use. The thing that I like about SketchUp is that it is free, but in addition to that, there's a lot of online tutorials to help you use it. There's another one called Sweet Home 3D that's also free and open source. That is really more of an interior design tool. Versus SketchUp is for the architect. Let's build a house, a she shed, whatever it may be, and we're also going to put stuff on the inside. Sweet Home 3D is more of doing like the inside job. And then there's also Room Sketcher that is, probably not as full featured as something that you might want to use. But again, if you're looking for something to like just get the whole thing done, that's where we're going to look at SketchUp. Sweet Home 3D, something a little bit easier, and also Room Sketcher. I'll tell you what, I'm going to do you a solid, and I'm going to put links to all of these inside of our free newsletter. So if you're listening right now, you're like going, oh, what did Kim Komando just say? Well, go over to getkim.com, sign up for our free newsletter, because we always put links and things like that inside the newsletter. Again, that's getkim.com. Okay, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us, and always appreciate loyal listeners like you. Of course, we're going to put the names of all those programs in our newsletter coming up, but here's the deal. If you don't get our newsletter already, you can sign up at getkim.com. But this is your last chance to enter to win a $500 gift card. And when you enter to win the gift card, you also are signing up for just one issue of the newsletter. So you're going to love it. So go to winfromkim.com. That's just this weekend only, the last weekend to win $500, a $500 Amazon gift card. Again, that's winfromkim.com. All right, so you've heard about the dark web. It's that shady place about illegal drugs where you can buy that, money laundering, crimes. It's where stolen credit card details and IDs, they just end up for sale. And it's hard to believe, but scammers have this buying and selling platform. It looks like an underground online shopping site. You can purchase ransomware kits, phishing campaigns, lists of email addresses, and even customer service reps. You can hire them to deal with your victims who don't know how to maybe pay with Bitcoin. So the dark web is not indexed by Google, which means you have to, use other tools like Tor in order to get there. But why can't we shut it down? We just can't. It's just too decentralized. The dark web does have legit uses for privacy, free speech, and circumventing censorship, just so you know. And if you need more information about the dark web, as always, just go ahead and search for it at commando.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
Okay, here's something for you to remember the next time you get inside of an Uber or Lyft. Okay, 1/3 of rideshare drivers say that they have been in a car crash. That's according to a study by the University of Illinois researchers. Yes. When they used a cell phone, okay, because everybody does, they say they were distracted, they drove tired, they were in an unfamiliar area. Oh, wow. What about all the drunk folks that are in the back seat? Yes. So what this means is that when you are in an Uber or Lyft, I want you to make sure that you always wear your seatbelt. Do not be Princess Diana, okay? Put on your seatbelt. And on that note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this. It's America's largest, best, most trusted, it's just the most awesomest show about all things digital. I might be a little biased because I'm the host, Kim Komando, your digital goddess, here with you once again. And you can find my show across 420 fantastic top stations across the United States. And if you want to listen on your own time, we have a few options. Number one, you can go inside the Komando community. You get the show as a podcast, as a webcast. You can also get it commercial free on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Just search for Komando, which is my last name, of course, with a K, Komando. And of course, there's somebody who's saying like, oh, I bet you she goes commando. Bet you she does. What do you think? I do. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and Space Force in 175 different countries. Alrighty, every single day, I go to all these different websites. I'm talking about news sites, research sites. I even look at some of the peripheral sites that I know that my white hat hacker friends are going to. And here are the top 5 things you need to know about tech right now. And this should come as a shock to you. This is big news. Apple has notified people in 92 different countries. Take that in for a second. 92 different countries that their iPhones have been targeted in a mercenary spyware attack. The alert says that the attack will target you specifically because of who you are and what you do. So mercenary spyware aims at high-profile targets like journalists, activists, political figures. Now, this isn't just your everyday cyber criminal trying to swipe your credit card or your password. These are complex tactics, and it's actually fueled by corporations and governments. Usually takes millions and millions of dollars to pull something like this off. 92 different countries means that someone or something has a lot of money to fund this type of attack. So if you are affected, you'll receive a threat notification when you try to log into your Apple ID account online, along with an email and iMessage alert. Wow, that's some big news right there. All right, moving on to number 2, let's talk about Google. Finally, it's here. Okay, I'm talking about Find My Device. We've had it on Apple for years. Now Google's Find My Device is finally just rolling out. It's Android's version of Apple Find My. You can track your lost items, your phones, put them on your card, your wallet, whatever it may be. All you have to do is use Google's Find My Device network. Basically, your device will shoot off a Bluetooth signal that gets noticed by other Android devices around it, and they pick up the location. They send it back to Google. It's a gradual rollout, so you have to check your settings app to see if it's available to you or not. This is kind of a cool part. If you have a Google Pixel phone, a Pixel 8 or 8 Pro, you can find your phone now, even if it's dead. Number 3 in our list, the FCC has borrowed nutrition labels from the FDA for your internet service provider. They have to show the broadband nutrition. Looks like one that you might see on a cereal box. You see things like monthly cost, download speeds, if there's a fee to break your contract early. Yeah, now we have all these fees. If there's a limit on how much data that you can actually use, might tell you that your internet's going to slow down when it gets super busy. And internet companies cannot hide these labels. It has to be right there when you sign up, online and in stores, and easy to find whenever you need to check it. And the FCC says that they're going to be watching. They're going to be watching to make sure that the ISPs actually roll this out. One of the things that's not shown, I want you to be really careful with this. You know, when you signed up for your internet, they said, oh, you know, you can get these like free sports package. Do you like Hallmark movies? We'll give you those free for 3 months. Okay. And then, of course, we all forget about it. We just keep paying it. So check your bills. Moving on to number 4, you know, your TV is connected to the internet if it's a smart TV. And just like anything else connected to the internet, it can be hacked. That's why if you have a smart TV, you should update it. Okay, certain LG TVs around the world this past week were revealed that they have these big security gaps. So like some hacker could actually get into your TV, install some apps. And then what can happen if they're in your TV? No, you're not going to be forced to watch Judge Judy 24/7 or the Lawrence Welk Show. Is that they may have access to your other network, your real network, the network where you get work done. So normally you have to punch in a PIN code in order to do certain things. So the hackers have gotten all around that. So the bottom line here is that you need to keep your television safe. I know it's kind of ridiculous that we have to think like this, but it's true. So no matter your brand of TV, make sure that you get into the settings menu, figure out how to see if it has any firmware updates. Because it's not like the TV manufacturer is going to say, hey, Joe, how are you? You like that Sony TV? You like that LG TV? Just want to let you know we have an update. No, up to you to go get it. And finally, this coming in at number 5, this is a story that you're going to want to share with your family members and friends. And when you do, they're going to go, wow, you are so smart. How did you get so smart? You don't have to tell them about me, but I wish that you would. You see, back in 1998, the San Francisco Municipal Transportation Agency, their train system, received a massive upgrade, an automatic train control system on the entire subway. The heart of this system, remember, it's 1998, okay, 26 years ago, floppy disks. Those 5-inch disks that hold the software that controls when and where the trains go for all the people of San Francisco. Well, because computers back in 1998, really large hard drives were super expensive, and they don't have that. So someone has to load the software from the floppy disk onto the computer that controls the trains. So 26 years have passed, a lot of new tech, right? And artificial intelligence. So now San Francisco is like raising their hand saying, floppy disks degrade between 20 and 25 years. We're at 26 years. It's probably time for us to upgrade. You think? All right, coming up, we have some great side hustles to make more money. Signs of keyloggers on your phone and what the airlines are doing with your data. And of course, we have all of your phone calls and you have me, Kim Commando. Okay, you can be the coolest kid on the block. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. You know how? You could be carrying a brand new iPhone 16 valued up to $1,500. You're like, what, Kim Commando? I can't afford that. Oh, honey bunny, I'm going to be giving one away. So what you want to do is go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. And that's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone. Again, that's winfromkim.com. And good luck. All right, let's start with Myron in Cincinnati, Ohio.
Hi, Kim. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. I've been listening to you for many years, and I was always amazed at the breadth of your knowledge. And now I have a question, finally, to ask you.
Awesome. Thank you.
70 years ago, 75 years ago maybe, my father took family movies, and I recently had them converted to digital format.
Nice.
But as expected, they're kind of faded. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, is there a way to enhance these old movies?
Yeah, there is. I will tell you that there's no magical button, though, Myron. Like, it's not like where you can just feed in the video and you say, oh, poof, make it all better for me. Okay. So, okay.
Well, that's what I was hoping.
Well, I know we would all hope that. And if you start believing everything that you read online, they'll say, oh, if you just pay us $300, we'll be able to do that for you, with this particular tool. But I will tell you that from my experience is that you always need to have a little bit of a human touch. Even now with AI built into a lot of these tools, you still need to have a discerning eye when you start looking at all this stuff. Is it just the footage itself, or is it just, or is there anything wrong with it, or you're just trying to do like color correction, maybe cleaning up the footage?
Just cleaning it up. It's not even color. It's all black and white 16 millimeter film that has just deteriorated over time.
Wow, black and white. Those are so cool, though.
Yeah.
Oh, when you can make them, it's always amazing to me, Myron, that when you look at old photos and videos and you think, you know what, they were living their whole lives like we are right now. It's just different times. They didn't have the internet. They didn't have electric vehicles. Well, they did, but there was only one or two, at that time. And they didn't have the annoying Prius drivers in front of them. It seems like every time I get behind a Prius. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. Today, I'm like, oh my gosh, is it just Prius drivers? Please help me. And I know many people are going to say like, okay, I drive a Prius. Okay, I love you. I'm just saying sometimes I get behind the worst ones. Adobe Premiere Pro. And they have something called After Effects, and they have Adobe Premiere Elements, by the way. So I would probably encourage you to get the Elements program first, because there is a learning curve, and you can download it at Adobe's site. They have a monthly membership program where you can get it on Amazon. You can buy it as a software download there as well, and get with Photoshop too if you needed that. But Adobe Premiere Elements is pretty easy to use, but they have a set of tools for color correction and also cleaning up footage. Now, as I mentioned, there is a bit of a learning curve, but the beautiful thing about this, Myron, is that you can get to YouTube, right? And at YouTube, they have tutorials for everything.
Yes, they do.
Okay. I mean, I went online on YouTube not too long ago to know how to repair a light switch. And I'm like, okay, that was easy. Don't need to call anybody to come do that. So again, Adobe Premiere Pro or Elements. Now, there is a free program that will also enhance old films. It's called DaVinci Resolve. So if you're on a budget, you want to try a freebie, again, DaVinci Resolve. And then there's another one, but I don't think you need this because it doesn't sound like that the footage is that horrible. Is that there's something called 4D Dig Video Repair that a friend of mine used with great success. So I guess in answer to your question, number one, I'd look at DaVinci Resolve. It's free. They've done some great movies using this video editing program. Have you seen The King's Speech?
No, no.
Oh gosh, you need to see The King's Speech, Myron. Watch it this weekend. It's about World War II and then Princess Elizabeth and her dad King George and what was going on at that time. And he had a bit of a speech impediment, and it's a relatively true story. It's fabulous. But the reason why I bring it up is that was done on DaVinci Resolve as far as a video editing program. Again, totally free. And so take a look at that. And then if that doesn't work out for you, then look at Adobe Premiere Elements. And if you need any help afterwards, I'm here for you. Just give me a call back. And Myron, thanks for listening all these years. Let's see, Paul in St. Paul, Minnesota. Hi there, Paul.
I took a trip last week, 200 miles each way in Minnesota, and I would have loved to have known where to stop for the best gas prices as I drove along. And I found one gas station 30 cents cheaper than all the others along the route.
Wow.
And that was 10% of the price.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I couldn't find on Google Maps how to do that. And I looked on Waze, and they needed you to drive 100 miles before they even gave you the option to look at gas prices. So I don't know what Waze offers. But Waze is owned by Google Maps.
Correct.
Google. So I would have thought that Google Maps would have this option. But with the holidays coming up, a lot of people are going to be driving 100, 200 miles, visiting friends, relatives. I'm sure other people, listeners, could also use a tip how you can look ahead. And if you know your car holds 10, 15 gallons, and if you know you're getting about 10, 20 miles to the gallon, you can start looking for gas prices along the way where
Sure.
you might want to tank up. So I just was hoping that you guys might have some tips.
Well, you want to look at Gas Buddy. Everybody knows that that's been around for a long time. It really is designed to give you the cheapest gas prices. But inside there, on their website, Gas Buddy has Plan a Trip. And so that's where you can enter in where you're coming from, where you're going, that you want to stop, say every hour or so, hour and a half, whatever it may be. And then it's going to show you the best spots to stop for gas. So that this way...
So I can't do that on the app on my phone?
You know what? I'm not sure if it's available on the phone yet. I know it's available on the website. So if it's not available, if it's not available on the app, then you might have to go to the website. Okay.
Okay.
But then, so while you're driving, it will show, Gas Buddy does show the gas prices along your route. Okay. Now with Google Maps, it's not really, like you said, it's not really made for this. It's not. You can search for local gas stations. It will show you gas stations around your route, but it's not going to pick the cheapest gas. For the cheapest gas, that's where we always go back to Gas Buddy. I mean, people have tried to compete against Gas Buddy for years, but they can't just because they just have the whole market wrapped up. So check out Gas Buddy. Like I said, on the website, I do know that they have Plan a Route, and it might be in the app right now. I'm not sure because I haven't used the app for a while. But again, just check the website and the app. Again, what you want is Plan a Trip feature. And Paul, thank you so much for your call because you're right. A lot of people are going to be traveling by car and gas is so expensive that we want to make sure that we always get the cheapest gas wherever we're going. And thank you for your call. Okay, here's something that you may not have thought of. Have you ever wondered how exactly your phone knows how many steps that you take every single day? I mean, have you ever thought about that? Well, inside there's a tiny, tiny piece of tech called an accelerometer. It's a sensor that measures the motion and orientation of your device. So when you take a step, your phone moves, and the accelerometer can sense that. It calculates the number of steps that you've taken. So where's the best place to put your phone? It's in your back pocket, or ladies, the thigh pocket of your exercise pants. And even then, it's just a ballpark figure. Hey, we got more of your phone calls and more of me coming up that you don't want to miss. All right, coming up in just a few minutes, some side hustles to make more money. And then later on, so many questions I get. I think there's a keylogger on my phone. Somebody's tracking everything I do on my phone. Help me, Kim. Help me. How do I know if it's there? Well, I have a list of the signs that it might be on your phone coming up. And before we get to all of that, let's talk about data gathering. You may not realize this, but so many of us are traveling now that airlines are collecting and tracking all your data. I'm talking about your booking details, your name, your email, your phone number, passport, of course, the weight of your bag. That's all a given. But think about this. The next time you use the onboard Wi-Fi, the sites you visit, where you search, the apps you use, all that's being monitored too. They're also tracking what you drink, what you eat, and whether or not your beverage is empty, how many cocktails you're having on the plane, your flight history, complaints to see if you're a good passenger or not, the movies that you like to watch. So why are they collecting so much data on us when we're flying? Well, the money, honey. That's right. It's all another way for them to make some more bucks on us. All right. Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm so happy, and I would hope that you would join me because we do Kim Commando Today. It's the audio podcast as well as the video podcast. So, of course, you can get the audio podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And the video podcast, you can get that wherever you get your videos. But the easiest place for me to really send you is at youtube.com/Kim Commando. That's youtube.com/Kim Commando, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time is when it's live. And we get your comments, we chit chat, we talk about what's going on in the tech world. And then, of course, if you don't catch it live, you can always catch it on demand, whether audio, video, as I said before. This past week, we were talking about how insurance companies, I don't know if you realize this, that they're using drones to look and see what's in your backyard. Maybe you might have some junk back there. Maybe there's problems with your roof. Maybe you have a swimming pool or trampoline that you didn't tell the insurance company about. And then the insurance company is going, well, that doesn't look good to me. I'm going to cancel this person's policy. Well, that's exactly what happened to CJ Sven. And Andrew Babinski and I had a chance to talk to CJ this past week. Here, take a listen. CJ, tell us what happened. You got canceled.
We get a letter, you're up for non-renewal. We're like, oh, that's nice. Great. We won something. What's that mean? No, we don't get a new insurance policy for the next year. And so I called the phone number that was on the short letter. And they said, oh, yeah, no, we've determined that your property doesn't meet our underwriting guidelines and we're not renewing your policy.
So when you spoke to them, what did they say that was in your yard that made you ineligible for renewal?
It was kind of a lengthy process. I talked to several different people. They kind of gave me the runaround. And I finally got to somebody else that had said, yeah, well, we have pictures of your property and there's miscellaneous debris and other things in your yard that just aren't up to our standards. I'm like, okay, well, I'll clean it up. I mean, it's just stuff that we move around the yard. You know, it's things we use. It's not junk. It might appear as junk to someone, but it's things that we use, you know, whether it's lawnmowers, bicycles, recycling cans, lawn furniture, what have you. We'll just tidy it up or, oh, no, you've been canceled. We're not reconsidering renewal.
Sounds like everyday stuff. I mean, everybody has in every backyard.
I mean, is it a little backyard that's just loaded up, or is it a big backyard? And you talked about having furniture and recyclable cans. I mean, was it combustible junk?
Are you cooking meth in your backyard?
Right. Yeah. Just a small meth factory. But, it's just a small one.
Yeah.
No, we do have tires. We use tires seasonally and for race purposes. And that's when it kind of got weird, was because I looked at Google Maps, looked at the property, and I know where the tires are. I know what I'm looking for. You couldn't really see them.
We have a clip from ABC7 in Los Angeles showing your property.
Sure. So to be honest, though, looking at that video, I mean, it looks like the backyard of a majority of Americans.
Exactly.
There's got to be another motivation by the insurance company to want to cancel your policy.
Yeah, well, that was just, like I said, it was kind of this, I guess maybe surreal is the word. I don't know, just when I probably talked to maybe 8 different people.
Which is ridiculous.
All having to do with AAA. And one of them said, well, what's this? We see this structure. What's this structure? It's on the north side of your property. There's like this white structure over there. You mean our gazebo? Yeah, it's a frame. What's that frame? It's a white frame. But yeah, that's our gazebo.
So, CJ, were you able to get them after you cleaned it up and they had new photos? Were you able to get reinstated with the insurance, or did you have to go find somebody new?
Yeah, that was another scary part. Not with them. They were done. And we couldn't find anyone else locally, Farmers, State Farm, anyone else. Nobody would cover us because not because of the situation, just because we're in California.
Yeah.
They weren't writing any new policies. So thankfully to that ABC7 report there, I was able to get some resources where I actually found a listing of hundreds of insurance companies that will cover Californians, because it's just kind of a general thing. Hey, do you cover California? Sure, we cover California.
No.
Oh, you want homeowners insurance? No.
Now, if you want to hear the entire interview, it's just really telling, is on the audio side. Just search for Kim Komando today, wherever you get your podcasts. Again, on the video side, go to youtube.com/Kim Komando. That's youtube.com/Kim Komando. All right, David in St. Louis, Missouri. Glad to have you with us.
Well, my wife went on a trip to South America, and her Android phone was stolen. She was on a trip for 2.5 weeks, and then she got to Santiago, Chile, and she was ready to fly out. For 4 hours, she would have been out of Santiago, and her phone was just pulled out of her hand. She was on the streets of Santiago, and a person on a bicycle zoomed by, grabbed her phone while she was using it. She was looking at the maps to get a location of a restaurant, and the phone was open, and he just ripped the phone out of her hand. She was screaming, and she screamed pretty loud, and people came to her aid right away, but she obviously didn't get the phone back. Now, is there something I should do after the phone gets stolen? She called me on a friend's phone. She was with a group of friends, and she told me that the phone was stolen. I called the service provider right away, and they blacklisted the phone. I don't know what that does. They said the phone is inoperative now,
right.
But it doesn't help with the Wi-Fi. I had apps on the phone. We're seeing some peculiar activity, but I guess it's Windows is keeping someone out of our account. They keep trying to get in, unsuccessful logon attempts. But they got the phone. It was open, And what do I do afterwards?
Yeah.
I filed a police report.
Yeah, I mean, you can file all the police reports that you want, but it was in Chile. Okay, it's it's just, the reason what you hear in the background is that I had the Chilean gangs that are targeting homes in the United States target my house. So Chile is not definitely on my vacation destination list at any time in the near future. Well, if possible, let's talk about the steps. Is that you might be able to remotely wipe the phone and erase the phone's data. And especially if she had any sensitive data and apps and things like that and stored on the phone. It's called Google's Find My Device. But unfortunately, you had to have that set up before any of this happened. Okay. Of course, you're going to notify your bank's financial information about the theft. You definitely need to change, obviously, every password. And in any account that you have, if you can still sign on to it, sign on to the account and change it from under security under 2FA, two-factor authentication, because they have the phone, they can get the 2FA codes, right?
Right.
Is that you change it to be using the Google Authenticator app. And basically that's a third-party app that you're going to put on your device and that they won't be able to change any passwords, get into any accounts without knowing that 6-digit number that the Google Authenticator app is going to spit at you, but you have it on your device and they don't have it on their device. Okay.
Oh, I see.
And so that's really where it is. Obviously, you're also going to keep an eye on your credit reports but it's a complete nightmare. It just, this happened to a friend of mine in Rome, but her situation was a little bit differently. She wasn't on her phone, is that she was taking a picture of her 12-year-old daughter. And so a stranger walked by and said, "Hey, would you like a picture of the two of you?" And she said, "Yes." And so they posed, and then the guy ran away with her iPhone. Okay.
Oh my!
Okay, so that's a $1,500 getaway. I mean, that's a lot of money. Same thing with your wife just using that phone. So again, unfortunately, you had to have all this set up beforehand. But I would definitely, monitor your credit reports, go into all your different accounts. I would probably, I know this sounds maybe a little extreme, but I would close down any bank account that I had that would be associated with this phone. I would close down any financial account, like with Morgan Stanley, whatever that you might have on there. I literally would go and close any account and look at my Google Play apps and remove anything that could be associated with that phone. Because, once they have it, they can do all kinds of damage. So instead of wondering what's going to appear on my credit report, I would be more proactive and just close down every single account. But if you don't want to do that, then you can use the Authenticator app. But I would have a tendency to just pull the plug on the whole thing, and just say, it's gone. It's in the hacker scammer's hands and they're going to steal from me. So what can I do to make sure that they can't get to me? Now, in the future, what you can do is just bring a burner phone with you when she's out and about. But, I know that's hard because we have our whole lives on our phone and you just have to protect it, especially when you're going to some countries, not just Chile. I mean, it could happen anywhere. Like I mentioned, happened to a friend of mine in Rome. All right. So you want to make some extra money? Try the Neighbor app. It lets you rent out your garage or a parking spot. Super handy if you're close to the airport or maybe a concert venue. Maybe you're an expert on some niche subject. We'll go over to justanswer.com. Every answer puts $1 in your pocket. Some people say they're making a few $1,000s a month. Now, for those of you who love to drive, but you don't want to do Uber and Lyft, try Alto. It's a high-end ride-sharing app, treats drivers like royalty. You even get to cruise around in a sleek, all-white Buick Enclave. Again, those sites, the Neighbor app, Just Answer, and Alto. Still to come, signs that a keylogger might be on your phone here on The Kim Komando Show. All right, Morris in Houston, Texas. Hi there, Morris.
I thought I knew how to deal with computers, but I guess I'm wrong. I had to switch from a Mac to a PC. My house flooded a couple of years ago, and we had to take pictures of all the items that were damaged. And
sorry to hear that.
Not only did I take, me too. It's the worst calamity that ever happened to us. I took pictures. I had friends take pictures. And so I wound up getting pictures from memory sticks, from iPhones, and tablets. And I also, like I said, switched from a Mac to a PC. The bottom line is I have thousands of pictures on my PC. And now I just found out, not only do I have all those pictures, but I've actually got multiple files with the same name. And many of the pictures have quadruplicates. It's crazy. Now, I started going through one file, and you could easily find the duplicates or quadruplicates in my case and delete them. But it took forever just to go through, one page of that. And I've got pages and pages and pages. So what I'm looking for.
And let me just stop you right there. Morris, I am not coming over to your house and getting rid of all your duplicate photos.
I wish you would. Well, I'm just trying to get an app that is safe, reliable, that will find all those duplicate pictures and basically not to delete them because it may inadvertently take a picture that shouldn't be deleted and, it got deleted and, of course, you can't get it back. But move it over into a temporary file and, then I'd be happy with that and do that. And I don't mind paying for an app that can do that because it'll save me hours and hours and hours.
Let's talk about it. Okay. There's one that works on Windows and Mac, and you're interesting because most people go from Windows to Mac. You went from Mac to Windows, but that's okay.
Well, I had a lot of problems with my Mac. It turned out being very, very slow. And I actually called the Apple people, and they did their best in getting rid of some junk things that I had on there. And it just didn't work.
Hey, you know what? It's to each its own. You know what I mean? Whatever you like. I mean, some people like Hondas, some people like Harleys.
Right.
The program that I'm going to recommend is called Duplicate Photo Cleaner. We have links to it over at commando.com. It's not very fancy. It does the job. But I think one of the features that you will like is that it will put all your duplicates into a separate folder. So it's just not automatically go, oh, these are 2 pictures of a faucet. He only needs 1. And you're like, no, that wasn't a faucet. That was my leg or whatever it may be. Then there's also another one called C Cleaner. This program's been around for quite a while, C Cleaner. But there's a paid version that also will find duplicate photos as well as files, because you said you also meant files. So take a look at Duplicate Photo Cleaner or C Cleaner, and then you're going to be like, oh, thank you, Kim Commando. All the duplicates are gone. And thank you for your call today, Morris. Oh, spy apps. They are the latest weapon in relationships drama. These secret keylogging apps can let somebody see your email, your photos, your text, your location, your social media accounts. Okay. Don't get paranoid that there might be an app on your phone. There are some signs to look for. Number 1, your battery draining faster than usual, and you see an increase in data usage. Your phone may be hot to the touch, even though you haven't really used it. And then look at your screen time reports on your phone. It's going to show exactly when you've used your phone. You can say, wait, that wasn't me. And also check your account at the Apple App Store and Google Play for any apps that you know that you didn't download. Now, let me tell you, just because you think that your phone is acting weird doesn't mean that it is. Could just be something that you might be guilty about, right? And don't forget to enter to win that new iPhone 16 at winfromkim.com.
Listening to the Kim Commando Show. Here's hour 3.
Have you ever thrown away loose change? Okay. I saw a stat the other day. I just wanted to pass along to you. Americans throw away about $68 million in loose change. Okay. There's a waste processing company by the name of Reworld, and it sifts through all the trash to collect metal. And in the past 7 years, it has gotten $10 million in usable coins. People just throwing away their money. Man, I'll tell you, if I had a nickel for every coin that I threw away, I'd have no nickels because throwing away money is just dumb. And on that happy note, you're about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. I'm, of course, Kim Commando, America's digital goddess, here with you once again. You know, this is just the best show. It really is. It's, you know, it's won all kinds of awards. It's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show. And yeah, I'm Kim Commando, and I'm saying it about myself, but I've worked really hard to get here. And you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top radio stations across the United States. And if you're into podcasts and webcasts, you could go ahead and join the Commando community. And, you know, getting the show commercial free, it's just a perk of membership. You can also get the show commercial free on Spotify, as well as Apple Podcasts. And a big hello goes out to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force, who are joining us on the American Forces Network Radio. Thank you, guys and gals, for your service. All right, I need two things. Number one, just tell one person about the show. That's all. Number two, send me your questions over at commando.com. Hit that link that says Email Kim. All right, every single day, I navigate through at least 35, 40 different websites to bring us the latest in technology. And here are the top 5 tech facts that are crucial for you to know right now. We're going to start with every boss's dream employee. Person who never leaves the desk, never takes vacation, the first person to log in, last person to log out. This person is not a chair spinner. Well, that person may be coming soon in the form of an AI bot, autonomous agents. And these AI agents can train themselves, learn new skills, be programmed, they can answer emails, reply to invoices, even do customer service. I don't know if you saw, but Best Buy came out this past week and said, "Ooh, the Geek Squad, we're going to be moving that all to AI." You know, it makes sense, really. I mean, where is the TV repairman today? Where is that TV repairman? You don't need them. Computers are almost becoming just as disposable. In Japan, Alt.ai is creating video clones of employees by using 100 of its employees' data from email, Slack, and other communications. Now, LinkedIn, on another note, says the number of companies with a designated head of AI has tripled globally in the last 5 years. So if you're wondering, like, where should I be going with AI in my tech life, in my tech career? You're going to be a CAIO, Chief Artificial Intelligence Officer. And I looked it up, and these are the things that the CAIO does. Okay, number one, improve workforce efficiency using AI. That means you're probably going to fire people. Identify new revenue streams with AI. Okay, you're going to sell more things. I like this one. Mitigate ethical and security risks. That would be more like the CAIO doing CYA. Moving on to number 2, coming to a hospital near you, AI robotic nurses. Why? They're cheap and there is a nursing shortage. NVIDIA and a company called Hippocratic, they've created this AI chatbot nurse. You talk to them like you would a real nurse over the screen. They're animated. They can answer your basic questions. But instead of spending $40 an hour for a nurse, you're going to spend $9 an hour. And NVIDIA says that these AI nurses are 43% better at noticing negative interactions with drugs than their human counterparts. Every year in the U.S., between 7,000 and 9,000 patients die as a result of a medical error. So if you're a nurse, start looking at specialized skills. And speaking of, corny joke time. What did the doctor tell the nurse after he made a mistake on the blood type record? What did the doctor tell the nurse after he made a mistake on the blood type record? You ready? Oh, I'm so sorry. I made a type O. Amazon is going to be pushing their smart shopping carts to grocery stores near you, and they're starting with tests in Kansas and Missouri. What does this mean? A touchscreen display on the smart shopping cart has built-in scanners. You just hold items up to scan them. It also weighs all your produce right in the cart. The touchscreen displays give you that running total. You can link it to your Amazon Prime account so you can pay all of that way. And also, if you toss some mayo in the cart, it's going to recommend buying like some canned chicken and celery, along with the recipe for a chicken salad that could just be sent to your email or text or whatever it is. And this is where the dash carts, that's what they're calling them, are used. Shoppers tend to spend about 10% more than those who just use the regular carts. But think about this, just for a second. This isn't this far-fetched. It's going to have a whole bunch of data tracking built in. Right. Okay, we know that. So Amazon already knows a bunch about you, including where you live. So the prices aren't going to be on the shelves anymore. You're going to have to scan them in. So if you live in a really ritzy part of town, well, Amazon charge you more because they know where you live and the stuff that you buy. Very interesting. Oh, this is really big news. A lot of AI news this past week. Meta has launched their own AI chatbot. It's called the Large Language Model, the Llama 3. And it's now running in the search bar of its 4 major apps: Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. You can use the Meta AI as a standalone app on the site meta.ai, but you can also ask web-related results powered by Google and Bing. Oh, gosh. They just put another nail on Google and Bing, didn't they, as far as doing searches? Because right now, when you are in Facebook, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, you want to look something up, you don't have to minimize that app anymore. You just type it right there, and you get the search results. Yeah. Mark Zuckerberg, that was pretty smart. I'll give you that one. And finally, this coming in at number 5. When you're out to dinner with friends and family, you know what happens is somebody's like, hey, what about this? Who won the game? Whatever it may be. And then people pick up their phone and they start sharing videos. I mean, it actually becomes part of the conversation. I mean, I've done it. But we needed an incentive for people to put their phones down during dinner. And so what could that incentive be? What could that incentive be? You ready? Free wine. That's right. A restaurant in Italy, Verona, called Al Comandino is offering a free bottle of wine to guests who agree to lock away their phones during the meal. When you arrive, you can secure your phone in a locked box right at the entrance. And guess what? 90% of the people opt for the free bottle of wine. Wow. Speaking of, if you were 8 years old when Red Wine was released, yeah, I'll tell you, you be 40 now. That was actually a good one. All right, coming up, we're talking about how you can keep hackers out of your security cameras. And also, there's a secret way to see who's selling your data. And of course, we have all of your great phone calls and me. You don't want to miss that on the Kim Komando Show. Okay, so you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 16 right now. You will be the coolest kid on the block ever. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. I'm giving away an iPhone 16 and it might have your name on it. winfromkim.com. All right, David in Knoxville, Tennessee, welcome.
I have a fairly unusual question, I guess. My parents, blessed, they're still around, but they're 92 and 90.
Okay.
And Dad's lost his mobility. He can barely stand up now. So he sits in a chair most of the day. He's got a walker and that sort of thing. I bought him one of those chairs that you punch the button and it stands you up.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But Mom is 90, and she's like the Energizer Bunny. She just goes and goes and goes and goes. And she doesn't weigh 85, 90 pounds, but they're both starting to fall fairly regularly.
Okay.
And Mom can't pick Dad up, so we got him hooked into the fire department. They call the fire department. They come by with, no lights and sirens and pick him up, put him back in his chair. But I'm trying to find a way. This is my question. I'm trying to find a way to get Mom to sit in her chair more. I don't want to chain her to it, right? But it's the numbers game. If I get her off her feet for a longer period of time, less likely she's going to fall, right?
Right.
So I was I was brainstorming with my sister, something like a tablet, iPad, something like that has something on it that would keep her attention, that she could sit in the chair and do. Not 24/7, but just.
No, I get it. I understand what you're saying.
More often.
All right. Well,
but I don't really know what's out there.
Okay, well, you got a couple of options. Your inclination to get her an iPad is, I think it's pretty spot on. You can set it up so that she can't make in-app purchases because you don't want that ability because it's so easy. But what I like about an iPad and an older adult is that they can make the screen bigger where they need it, just by pulling the screen apart. Just like with their fingers, I want to zoom in this, and then you could put apps right on the iPad itself for, say, solitaire, Wordle, casino games, blackjack, whatever it may be, and as well as put a link for. Does she text?
No.
Okay. You could put a link that will when she touches this that it will automatically call you.
Yeah, okay.
So you can think of it as an all around tool. Now you also have another option, and that's an Amazon Echo Show. The Echo Show is a video screen that she can touch and she can play games on. She can watch the news. She can get the weather. And what I really like about it is that all she has to say is the A word. I don't want to say it out loud because then everybody's devices will come up, right? But she just can say the A word, drop in on David. And then your Amazon Echo Show, and you'll say, oh, hi, Mom, how are you? She'll be fine.
Oh, cool.
Okay. How's Dad? And then she can flip the screen over. Here, say hi to David, honey. Okay. So he says hi, and then you guys can just chit chat, and then you can say, hey, you know what? Let's talk. You haven't talked to your grandson Jason in a while. Let's have Jason do this call. Okay. So, and then she said, well, you know what? I'll talk to Jason later, and then she can drop in on Jason. So there's instant communication.
Yeah.
The other thing that it does is that you can also program it behind the scenes that if it doesn't see her before, say, at 10 a.m., then you get alerted.
Oh, okay. That's handy.
Okay, so that means if she can get in the chair, there's something wrong. Okay?
Yeah, right.
You can have it so that it reminds her to take her medication. It reminds her to tell your dad to take the medication. Okay. You can have up to 5 people see all these records. Okay, if she falls, all she has to say is A word, I fell. Okay. Call 911. Okay. I mean, of course, there are the medical guardians and there are the, all the other devices that are also good for elderly folks that are going to fall because, a fall is deadly. We all know that.
Sure.
And so
is that fairly easy to set up?
Oh my gosh, David, it's easy.
Really?
Yeah. But so you got an 8-inch, you got a 10-inch. I want to get her, if her eyesight's probably not the greatest, I'd probably get her the 10-inch Echo Show.
Right.
You maybe get the 5-inch or the 8-inch. Now, they do have a pay program that's $20 a month that gives you more caregiver quote type features, whether or not you need to pay that. But I'll tell you, I used this with my mother, an Echo Show, and it was fabulous. I will tell you that. It was fabulous. I mean, I still remember I was like upstairs and all of a sudden I hear like my mother would say, it wasn't Kim because she was from Brooklyn. She'd say, Kimberly. Okay. So I'd be like, Kimberly. And I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's just really wonderful because they don't feel out of touch because they can see and talk to you. They don't feel isolated. And then you get peace of mind, which is priceless. And so I would look more at the Echo Show at this point. I mean, your mom. Okay.
No, I mean, that actually sounds perfect. They're in Texas, and my wife and I just recently, about 4 months ago, retired to Florida, and they're still mad that we left Texas.
I'm
mad that you left Texas, but you don't, my opinion doesn't matter.
It was one. We live in the largest retirement community in the world in Florida.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Just awesome.
No, that's for sure.
To have that instant connection, like you were just saying, which is almost online 24/7.
Oh yes,
that's what it sounds like.
It is. Right? It's online 24/7.
So I'm one punch away from the screen.
She doesn't even have to hit the screen. She doesn't.
She just says the A word.
She says the A word. Drop in on David.
Wow, that's super cool.
And then you can say the same thing. I've got a lot of information about how to use an Echo Show with the older adults in your family over at my website at commando.com. But, look at it on Amazon, I'm telling you, and look at the caregiver features. And this is really something that can make a difference in a lot of folks' lives. I know that it really helped me with my mom. And again, that's the Echo Show. Just search over at commando.com. David, you need any help afterwards? Just give me a shout back. I'm always here for you. We have a great tip on the website. If you are going to be looking for a summer campsite, you want to go to a site like Camp Flare and Camp Scanner, because what you can do is you can sign up, and then they're going to tell you if there are any cancellations at any of the national park campsites. So you can just slide right in there They charge for that, but heck, they'll tell you like every 5 seconds. Amazing. Once again, that's Camp Flare and Camp Scanner. Coming up, Ali Seligman's joining us. We're going to talk about freebies for small businesses here on the Kim Komando Show. All right, coming up later on, a Gmail hack to see who's selling your data. I also have a great tip about how to keep hackers out of your security camera. And joining us right now on the Kim Komando Show is our amazing and very talented and super smart, if you're watching the show, you can see like she has her glasses on today. She's so smart. Ali Seligman. Hi there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
So businesses, right? And mine is the rule of thirds. And what that means is that for every dollar that we spend, we have to earn $3.
Oh, I've never heard you say that rule. I like that.
And so, because this way, we make sure that we pay all of our taxes.
Yep.
We pay our expenses. And then we also have a little bit of profit so that this way we get to stay in business.
Well, imagine that. Isn't that what every business owner wants?
Right. Now, but mine is mine's the law of thirds. So for every dollar, I have to earn $3. I probably should have told you this years ago, because that's why sometimes when you come in, it's like, well, it's only going to be $400. I'm like, yeah, but I got to go make $1,200. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Well, good to know. So much just clicked into place for me.
Yes, exactly. All right. So you put together some great freebies.
I did. People love free stuff. I love free stuff. It's my favorite price.
Yes,
you too.
of course.
Yeah. So this is super important for businesses too, right? Where, you have to maximize your profits. You can't spend money on everything. And luckily now there are a lot of good free things. I mean, there have been for a while, but I've got some good ones that I think people are going to like. And I can already hear you saying, Ali, where's the link to this? How do I find this? I'm never going to remember. Don't worry. We're going to put all of this in the current newsletter, so you can just click the links and go right to these sites.
Yeah. And that's the problem. Because even if you're sitting there and you're trying to write this down, I guarantee you that you're going to write just 1 or 2 letters off.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then you're going to send a nasty email and you're going to say, Kim and Ali, why did you put me on that porn site?
That woman on your show has no idea what she's saying. Well, no, it's so easy. There are so many websites. And really, this is a thing that people do on purpose, right? They buy websites that are very similar to the typos you might make. And so then, you end up on a malware site or a porn site or whatever it is.
I know. It's so frustrating.
It is. So let's say you want to get more traffic to your website. Okay, probably everyone with a website wants that, right?
Exactly, because the website, website traffic is going in the crapper.
It sure is. And if you're having that oh no, what do I do? There are some free tools. Now, this is a particularly good one to me because a lot of these tools are so expensive. All the SEO tools, seriously, like hundreds of dollars a month. But one that is totally free and works well, it is called Uber Suggest. I won't get into the whole thing, but there's a marketing guy. His name is Neil Patel. He makes really good tools. This is one of them. Uber Suggest, you can get keyword searches. You can see what your competition's doing. Really, you can say, okay, these are the other, plumbers in my area. These are their websites. These are their search terms. And you can get a list of here's all the things you should do so that you can compete. If you are selling stuff, okay, we've been talking about those bin stores. I don't know about you, Kim. So I've got a recent Poshmark obsession. Do you know Poshmark?
I've never been there. I know I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's an app or a website. You can go to it either way, where you buy basically used nice stuff. So it's like going to a consignment store, except it's online, so you get access to everyone's, right? There are so many people that you can tell they're shopping at either a bin store, consignment stores, estate sales, whatever, and turning this into a business where they ship stuff out. Well, all those shipping supplies get expensive. And I don't think that most people know that the USPS will just give you free shipping supplies for business.
Everything, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Wonderful.
There's a whole site that they've got where you can look at all this stuff and order it, store.usps.com. But you can get basically everything that you're probably already paying for free. So no more paying for that stuff, please.
Now, so I saw a video this morning and, I was sitting there just on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I don't remember who it was or whatever, but I just thought, what a great idea this is. This woman throws dinner parties for 6 to 8 people.
Okay.
And what she does is before the dinner party that she goes to one of those bin places where that's where you can buy Amazon returns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super cheap.
Okay. And so she buys them and then she puts them back inside of an Amazon box, whatever it is, and with all the wrapping. And then people have to pick a box. from the bin.
Yeah.
And so it's like this one woman had she got a little gnome, but the head was cut off, And then this other guy had a box that it was like a Jack in the Box, but whatever was supposed to come out of the box, there was nothing there. I mean, I just thought, you know what? I would love to do that. Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be really fun. That's also a really good idea for a holiday gift exchange.
Oh yeah,
going fully in on the okay, these white elephant gifts suck, so we might as well just have more fun with it.
Yeah, let's just take it to extreme. All right, what do you got next?
If you need help with your social media posts, I am not going to be, spilling the beans here when I say really ChatGPT is your best option. It's free, yes. You don't need to use one of the fancy paid services for it. I have tried several of them to try them out. ChatGPT does probably the best job I've seen, which great, it's free. What if you want to automate things for your business? This one's a little techier. We actually use this here. There's a service called Zapier. And think of this as a conduit between different services. So say on your website, you have a form that collects email addresses, and you always have to go in to your website, get those email addresses, put them in your email provider, send the email. Well, Zapier connects all this stuff, so it just does everything automatically for you. Oh, yes. It's so nice. You can do, I think, hundreds of these connections totally for free. You don't have to have a paid account. If you start working with a ton of data,
Sure.
yes, you do. But truly, this is something that is free, and if your business is pretty small, you're not going to have to pay a dime for it.
All right, we have time for just one more.
Well, that's good. I have one more. And
Excellent.
Yes. If you are to the place where you are ready to scale up your business, one of the hardest parts of that, of course, is hiring, right? Getting people onboarded. I've heard a lot of friends, people that, maybe we've had this conversation, Kim. When you bring somebody new on, it takes a good long while before they're actually able to do their job. So this company is called Scribe. Again, none of these companies or anybody that have paid us money for this. These are just things that I've either used myself or have friends who've used and think they're great. But Scribe basically makes it really easy to onboard people. So you can make documents for them to, basically everything you need them to know. And then you have those forever for everyone you bring on. It's training, essentially makes it so your employees can feel useful, both themselves, and you can feel like, great, you're taking things off my plate immediately. So that's called Scribe. Again, free version is great. You don't have to pay for anything. You can if you get to be a really big business, but most people just use it for free.
Which is, we love free. Free is always good. And speaking of free, you need to get the newsletter. Sign up for our free newsletter. Yep. Go to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. Sign up for our free newsletter. And then Allie, our amazing content queen, is going to put all of these in there. Thanks, Al.
Thanks.
All right. You have security cameras, but I want to make sure that they can't get hacked and somebody can sneak in and take a look. Because unless you take some extra steps, it's actually pretty easy for anyone to drop in. So your first step is, I know, it's that annoying password. Make sure it's tough, at least 12 characters, mixture of upper, lowercase, letters, numbers, you know the deal. And make sure that it's a password that you're not using on any other account. Then just take the time and set up 2FA, two-factor authentication. It's mandatory with better cameras, but those cheapo cameras might not offer it. And if they don't offer 2FA, send the camera back. Now, while you're locking things down, check out your home router's admin page. I want you to give it a unique password and also enable the highest level of encryption too. I know, total pain, but it's worth it. Oh, one more thing. Make sure that you get any firmware updates along the way. All right, still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as later on a really simple hack to see who is selling your email address here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, listen, it's this address, winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. That's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone 15. Let me tell you, you are going to love it. My newsletter, that's what I'm talking about. At winfromkim.com, that's where you get just one issue of the newsletter, but you can also enter to win that iPhone 15. That's winfromkim.com. All right, Jeff in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hi there, Jeff.
After 40 years of having a website, I didn't have a website for 40 years. After 40 years of having a website, business, and everything else, I still have an email address tied to that website that everyone that knows me would use. Mm-hmm. I'm giving up the website. There's no point in keeping it running, keeping the expense of a server and all the other stuff going. And I'm going to be giving up this website, which happens to, my email address is tied as a .com to my website. Problem is, I'm just not fond of Google. I grew up with Microsoft Outlook.
Oh.
And I love Outlook.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. You're killing me with Outlook.
I know. But I like the Outlook. I like the mail format of Outlook. I've used it for so long.
That's what
like
it is.
Second nature.
Okay, but let me ask you a question, though. How many times have you rebuilt that PST file, buddy? I mean, come on.
I keep avoiding going through that by not doing the updates.
Okay. Oh, see? There you go. That's one way.
Yeah,
That's smart.
Change is not good for me.
Okay. All right. Since change is not good for you and you hate Google, okay.
Well, I don't hate Google. I'm just not fond of their format.
Okay, because you like Outlook.
Right.
Because you're like the one person. No, you know what? My sister, my dear sister, I love her. But I cannot get her off of Microsoft Outlook. I'm like, come on, honey, move with the times. She's like, nope, I like Outlook. I like the way it's all organized. I can color code things. And anyway, so you're looking.
My argument with Outlook is the contact system from Microsoft Outlook. To me, I can't get anything else to emulate it.
I can see that.
I don't want to go back. I've got 700 or 800 contacts in there. I don't want to go back and have to redo all of them.
All right. So here's what your options are. Number one, I would keep the website. Okay. You don't have to have it up on the web. Okay. You can just use that as your mail server. And so this way you have complete control of all your email. Okay. I mean, because otherwise you're going to look at spending $50 a year for fast mail or hush mail or whatever it may be. But, you can self-host your own email. It's not complicated. It's really not. Okay. It used to be complicated. It was. I mean, it used to be like, we're going to be like, okay, got to call my geek of the week over here, get them going. Right. But now there are so many different options for you to get into self-hosting. Unless you really just don't want that domain anymore. Because what you can do is just.
Well, I love the domain. I love the domain, and like I said, I've got so many people that's we've got a Google email address. It's kind of like the family address and the one you give out when everybody has to have an email address before you can place your order type of thing.
Yes,
and that's what we use it for. But the idea of having to get through it. I've got some people on there that probably wouldn't remember that I notified them that I was dropping the email address and I'd never hear from them again type of thing. So, yeah.
Especially if they owe you money, we want to
No, unfortunately, no. Yeah.
Not too many of those. Well, that's good.
Not too many of those.
So you're going to keep the domain. You can take down the site. You can just, park something up there, put a picture of Jeff up fishing.
Right.
That would be fun. That would actually be funny.
What does it cost to have somebody? I mean, is that an expensive option to go in and have just have somebody host the domain?
No. As a matter of fact, if you have your domain through like somebody like GoDaddy, they offer mail hosting right as part of that. So,
okay.
So that's probably the easiest place to start because they're gonna serve as the mail host and mail like MAIL host.
Right.
So this way you don't have to really mess around with anything and you just pay them a nominal yearly fee for them to just handle all that and then just replace the whole, back up the website just for giggles, right?
Yeah.
The other thing that I would also do before you take it down is go over to archive.org.
Okay.
And at archive.org, that's where they take pictures of all the websites that have ever existed in the world. And I would just, for giggles, I would say, hey, here's my website. Can you make sure that there's a copy of it at least? So like 100 years from now, maybe your great-great-grandchild wants to say, hey, wonder what that website looked like long ago. Then they can go and take a look at it. I think that's just kind of sweet.
Archive.org. Okay.
And so look at wherever you're hosting the site at and put a great picture of you, like, I don't know, holding a drink on the beach in Hawaii, or something like that. just a funny little picture there because you seem like a great guy. And I think people would appreciate the humor in it. Like, gone fishing with an F, of course. And then if that doesn't work, there's a service mail in a box. That's pretty good. And also Zimbra, Zimbra. But I would really take a look first at just trying to go through your domain register, and they offer now mail using that domain address. So this way you can keep that bad boy forever and ever. Jeff, thanks for your call today. Now, you hear me answering these questions all the time. And if you are sitting there saying, oh, I wish that I could get Kim to answer my question, there's a really simple way for you to do this. You go to the website, commando.com, and then there's a link that says email Kim. I will tell you that I read every single note that you guys and gals send me there. And again, that's at the website at commando.com. And I know, boy, I'm just overwhelmed in questions that if I go onto our Facebook page, I get DMs there on Messenger and on Instagram, and there's X and on YouTube and things like that. But if you really want me to take a look at your email, you really want to make sure that I see it and not somebody who's handling social media for us, that's where you need to go to commando.com. That's Komando, commando.com, and hit that link that says email Kim. And I know just as I'm saying this, somebody's going to go, oh, I'm going to send you a note, Kim Commando. And in that note, you're going to say, oh, Kim, I don't believe that you read every single note. I don't believe that because you don't, how could somebody do that? And so I'm just going to put a note here and say, if you really read this, make sure that you hit reply and use the number 7 or something. It's dumb like that. I don't play games, right? I don't have time to play games, okay? Just know and trust me that I read every single note. And if you want to actually talk to me here on the show, you can schedule a time. So you don't have to sit on hold for hours like some people do. You can just schedule you right in. Again, that's commando.com and hit that link that says email Kim. Spammers get a hold of your email address in a lot of ways. But the most common is they buy up contact lists from online apps and services that you use. But there is a trick to see who sold you out. It's really simple to do using Gmail. You put a plus symbol and a unique identifier after your username before the @ symbol. So it's going to be like your name, Hot Bob in Kentucky, plus the app name or the website name or whatever it is at gmail.com. Now, this works because Gmail disregards anything after the plus symbol, but will still deliver the mail. So then, here's the magic part. When you receive a spam email addressed to that sender, you can say, oh, that's the one who sold me out. That's the one. Again, the format is your Gmail username plus the app name at gmail.com. Okay, you just use that plus and then whatever you want to do at gmail.com because they disregard everything. Hey, don't forget to enter to win that new iPhone 16 at winfromkim.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Commando Show. Here's Hour 4.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and interesting. How many official emojis are there in the entire world? Think about this. How many official emojis? Not just the 10 or 12 that you use, but how many different emojis are there? Are you ready for it? Here's a fun fact you can use the rest of the day. 3,782. Wow. Hey, report from the website Word Tips. They trace down the emojis that confuse people the most. Okay, here are the top ones. Number 1, they call it the pleading face. It's the one with the big old eyes, kind of looks surprised. A lot of people are like, I don't know what this means when I got this. It's used a lot when somebody does something sweet. Number 2, that smirking face. It's often used when people are feeling randy. Okay, if you don't know what randy is, you can think of it like as being frisky. And finally, the upside down face. I use that one a lot. It indicates sarcasm emojis. I'll tell you, I'll never forget that Christmas when my husband, he's just out there going crazy, texting all of his family members and friends, Merry Christmas with a Christmas tree, presents, and then maybe a star. And then there was a wreath. Only it wasn't a wreath. It was a salad. I'm like, oh, honey, why are you sending salads to people on Christmas Day? And on that happy note, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Kim Commando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. You're about ready to get more tech smart because every single thing is a tech thing, right? I know, it's just crazy. You can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations throughout the United States. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app, and you can always find us as a podcast, as a webcast, 24/7 over at commando.com as part of the Commando community. Before we get rocking and rolling, I need 2 things from each and every one of you. Number 1, I want you to tell one person. That's it. Tell one person about the show, one person about the newsletter, one person that you can win $500 gift card at winfromkim.com. That's it. Just tell one person. And number 2, over at commando.com, there's this gray button that says email Kim. Oh, you're so smart. That's right. That's where you can drop me a note. I read every single one. And I want to hear your feedback, what you want to know more about. And how about we get started with the top 5 things that you need to know what's happening in tech right now? Because every single day, I'll tell you, I go to at least 35 or 40 websites. And if you haven't figured this out yet, coming in at number 1, you might be surprised to learn that if you're paying for a commercial-free Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Disney Plus account, they're not so commercial-free at all, now are they? One of the biggest selling points of streaming was non-intrusive commercials. Well, realizing how much money they were leaving on the table, these streamers began offering a free service with commercials. Yeah, like TV, and a paid service without commercials. Was that supposed to be cable? Okay, fair enough. Except when we all weren't paying attention, short ads started popping up even on the paid service. And the free service now carries a ton of ads, like commercial television. So why did they do this? Greed, of course. Or maybe that these great programs cost more than ever. Maybe it's a little bit of both. But here's one thing for sure. If you're watching a free streaming service, expect to see even more ads very soon. And if you're paying for a service, guess what? You're going to start seeing more ads too. All right, coming in at number 2, a brand new AI danger. Now, if you or your business use AI to produce content to provide legal, medical, or any other type of professional advice, you are now legally responsible for everything that AI does for you, especially when it makes mistakes. And wow, I'll tell you, AI makes a ton of mistakes. The Wall Street Journal reports that using AI is a risk that goes well beyond you or your company's reputation. But you see, for decades, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act made companies totally immune from lawsuits based on whatever put on the website. But, and here's the big but, this law does not cover AI. So whatever AI writes, puts together with images and videos and music or whatever, and you cannot buy insurance for this either. So this is the thing that you have to remember. And you need to share this with your team members, your managers, whatever, whoever at your company. When you're using AI for commercial reasons, you are completely exposed and fully liable for whatever it generates. Yes. Moving on to number 3. Oh, it's happened to me. I know it's happened to you. You have a convo with your friend about something, taking a trip to Paris, buying a new electric bike. You hop on Facebook and bam, right? You see ads for the Eiffel Tower and bike shops near you. So is Facebook listening? Is Facebook using your phone's microphone? Well, here's the deal. Consumer Reports did extensive research, and they found that the answer is no, they are not. They're doing something else. Turns out that Facebook is not listening in on our conversations to serve as targeted content and advertising. Consumer Reports found that Facebook gets our personal likes, dislikes, searches, doctor visits, working hours, purchases, pets, kids, political affiliation, and more from 48,000 companies. Oh my gosh, 48,000 companies. These data brokers like LiveRamp, along with big retailers, even small shops, are all in on it. So myth busted, Facebook doesn't need to listen. It just gets all the info. Number 4 is a sad story. Really it is. Because every day we're living what we're called this hyper-connected society. Everyone's connected. Smartphones, they make voice calls, video calls. We can text, read, send an email. But loneliness is at epidemic levels. In England, the United States, and Canada, a staggering 40% of us go at least 3 days without a real live face-to-face conversation with another person. Ooh, isn't that awful? And even with employees back in the office, up to a quarter of them say that they're still lonely. Loneliness affects confidence, anxiety, and sleep patterns. Now, those folks most affected are 18 to 24, right? The very ones who were robbed of social contact in high school during the COVID lockdown. Gen Z, they're just really, really lonely. And finally, this, coming in at number 5, what do you think? What first comes to mind when I say Elon Musk? Okay, is he great? Is he in trouble? Is he wonderful? Is he not? A Wall Street guru with a well-known anti-Tesla stance predicted that Tesla is going to go bust, going to go out of business. He said the stock is going to fall to $14. Now, true that Tesla's feeling the EV vehicle vibe and has seriously cut back production and prices. And, oh man, on the internet, customers who bought Tesla's so-called apocalypse-proof 82,000 Cybertruck are saying, oh, this thing isn't really that great. So is Elon in trouble? Okay, X is wobbly, EVs are being rejected, but Musk still has SpaceX and Starlink, both slam dunks. And his net worth, $195 billion. So in the words of Mark Twain, reports of Elon Musk's demise are greatly exaggerated. All right, coming up, we have your fabulous phone calls as well as some Google Map tricks you're going to want to try out immediately. We're also going to talk a little bit about texting 911. And of course, you have more of me, Kim Komando. Okay, you can be the coolest kid on the block. Yeah, you. I'm talking about you. You know how? You could be carrying a brand new iPhone 16 valued up to $1,500. You're like, what, Kim Komando? I can't afford that. Oh, honey bunny, I'm going to be giving one away. So what you want to do is go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. And that's where you can enter to win a brand new iPhone. Again, that's winfromkim.com. And good luck. All right, how about we get started with Elizabeth in Des Moines, Iowa. Hi, Elizabeth.
I have it's a two-part question, and it's about TikTok and LinkedIn online jobs.
Okay.
And I heard Andrew talking about all the ads that are on TikTok now. And I was mentioning that to my boss, and she said she's addicted to TikTok, and she scrolls through those ads, and she's finding jobs for remote part-time data entry. Mm-hmm. And she thinks she can make extra money doing that. And she told me I might want to look into that. And first off, I don't go on TikTok. And second, I don't think they're real. And then also, my second part of my question is LinkedIn. I get a lot of daily emails from LinkedIn about job opportunities, and a lot of them have been for remote data entry jobs. And when you click on them, if you follow the links, they want you to pay money to apply for a job.
Of course they do, Elizabeth. You know that. My gosh, you're smarter. I can tell. Let's talk.
I just did it, and I'm sure that it read the thing, and it keeps sending me more and more and more.
Yeah, but, that whole algorithm just, you just like,
yeah.
Okay, here comes Elizabeth. We want to give her data entry jobs. Okay. TikTok ads, nobody vets them. Okay. And so I would be leery of clicking on any make money at home opportunity that I see advertised on TikTok and, or really just about anywhere. I mean, the worst thing you can do is also try to Google something like that. But legitimate jobs, they're not going to require you to pay money up front for training, job opportunities, equipment, anything like that. I mean, just because the job is remote, the same skills still apply to it and the same common sense, right? And also, be careful of where it says, data entry, you can make $125 an hour. Okay. And you're like, yes, that'd be amazing. Okay. Well, you know what? It's probably going to be a scam. Anytime they want personal financial information, poorly written job ads, and that used to be really a telltale sign. But because of ChatGPT, they can really write these job ads and they look so good, right? And so where can you find a legitimate data entry job? And so that's where you can go to you can do like LinkedIn, Indeed, and Glassdoor. Flex Jobs, remote.co is also another one. But whatever job that you find, is that you have to make sure that you totally vet this company. You want reviews, check the website, look for a solid online presence, social media profiles, and just don't share anything about yourself until you feel like, yes, this might be something that is legit. Now, if you start looking for data entry jobs, like you mentioned, suddenly you're going to be just flooded with all these other opportunities, right? Right. And so that's where you want to go in and maybe, delete your history, delete the cache, start a browser. If you start looking at these things, maybe you set up a private or incognito window on Chrome or your browser, whatever browser that you happen to be using, so that this way your whole search and your whole life is not about data entry, because it does get rather annoying because you're like, okay, I mean, I find this because I may be looking at Instagram Reels. And, I've spent over the last week or so, I've probably spent, 25 hours on an airplane. And so, traveling between Phoenix and Tokyo is a long way, right? And so I was scrolling, sitting there looking at Instagram Reels to pass the time. And I admit that I looked at a few of them because I thought I would be curious on this woman who had 8 kids, you know what I mean? And now all of a sudden, everything on my Instagram reel is about like these big families. And I'm like, okay, I just looked at one. Okay, that's just one video. That was it. Okay, and so it does get you can go down that rabbit hole. But back to you with the job listings. Does that help you out?
Well, it does, but I've also received a few messages in LinkedIn from recruiters, I guess. And when you go and follow links or do searches for them online,
Yes.
I found one was in Singapore and one was in India.
No.
And I did do reviews.
yeah.
I did search, and I don't know if the reviews are fake. And I guess I don't know how to find out.
No,
legitimate
just, you know what?
places.
Let's stick in the United States. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's
All right.
let's not go to Singapore. Oh, Singapore is a beautiful, beautiful place. It is. And India can certainly use your money, but I don't want you to get scammed. So just stick in the good old USA, and the recruiters, they can also just come they can slide into your DMs too, because they're not vetted as well. I mean, nobody's vetted. Nobody is, right? And so, with the onslaught of AI, it makes their scams a lot easier to pull off, because now they can really appear to be too legit to quit. So just make sure that you have your eyes open. And again, just make sure that you're super smart. You don't need to be going down some job scam where you think you're going to be making money and then you're going to lose money. And then you're going to be calling me up and say, oh, Kim, I got scammed and how do I get my money back? And I'm going to say, Elizabeth, you should have listened. Elizabeth, you should have listened, which I would never do. I'm always going to help you out. You know that. But thanks for your call today. All right, let's see. David in Mesa, Arizona. Glad to have you with us.
You had a piece here not too far back ago where you said, well, there's a way you can make up a QR code on your modem so that when people are in your house and they want to use your Wi-Fi, that they can just point their phone at the QR code and it will automatically hook them up.
Yeah, so that's why you're not sitting there going, you're not sitting there saying, okay, the network name is this and the password is this and upper, lower case, 1258 and whatever it may be. Yeah, it's so annoying. And so the whole idea is that you get this QR code and you print it out and you put it in a frame. And whenever anybody comes over, they can just point their phone, as you said, just point their phone right at it, and it signs them automatically right into the network. What kind of phone do you have?
Samsung S20, whatever the latest one is.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to send you these instructions. Okay, but Samsung and Android, they actually have a way that you can create a QR code right on the phone, and it's all in the settings menu. And then you can take a screenshot of the QR code, and then you can just save that out. And it's like settings, connections, Wi-Fi, network, and internet. See where I'm going like this? It's like, oh my gosh, you got to go here, there. And then you're like, oh, there it is. Okay. And so it's like whatever. And that's where you can, like I said, you can take a screenshot of the QR code that they put on there. Now, otherwise, you can just go to a website called QR Code Monkey. And again, it's called QR Code Monkey. And this is where you type in your network name and password, and it creates a QR code for you right there. As a matter of fact, I like this website because you could create a QR code for anything, a page on your website, a business card, your Facebook page, whatever it may be that you want a QR code for, does it right there for free. And again, the website's called QR Code Monkey. But hang on the line, David, because we're going to send you those steps on how to do it on that Samsung S22. And like all things Android, every once in a while, the steps that we put, your mileage may vary because they're all different flavors of Android. And they seem to tweak things just enough to make it annoying. And it does. So again, that's the QR code, that website. One more time for everybody, QR Code Monkey. Dave, thanks for your call. I just love taking your phone calls. I really do. Hey, by the way, if you're just too shy to come on a big time show and podcast and you have a question for me, really simple. Just head over to commando.com. That's Komando, commando.com. And then there's that link at the top that says email Kim. Yep, that's where the magic happens. I read every single note that you send me there. That's commando.com. And that big gold button at the top says email Kim. And speaking of phones, your phone rings, you look at it, and it's an unknown number, and you're like, oh, gosh, I'm so tired getting these spam phone calls. What can I do to make them stop? All right, so you signed up for the National Do Not Call Registry, but those calls, they just keep coming. Now, the deal is that the Do Not Call Registry list is great against legal telemarketers, but the scammers, they don't follow the rules. They're outside the system. So what can you do? Arm yourself with caller ID or call blocking app like Hiya, Truecaller, RoboKiller. They can help identify and even block some shady numbers. But keep in mind that you might want to tap into your carrier first, because so many of them have free call blocking apps too. Now, if a robocall does sneak through, just hang up. Don't press any buttons. Don't talk back. It only takes 3 seconds for a scammer to steal your voice. And remember, never ever share personal info like your social security number or credit card details on a call that you just did not initiate. All right, stay right where you are. I've got some Google tricks you're going to love here on the Kim Komando Show. You know, Google Maps is so cool. It really is. I'll tell you, one of the things that I've been using with it is that you say when you want to show up at some place, right? And then it tells you when you should leave based on real-time traffic conditions. And you don't have to do it like that moment. You can do it like the next day or whatever. And I've got actually 3 more Google Maps tricks coming up that you don't want to miss. And then later on, texting 911, what you need to know about it before you actually use it. And before we go back to all of your phone calls, have you ever tried to organize a shopping list of like who's bringing what for a school event, a scout troop, church function, or a reunion? It can be a nightmare. But here's some ideas. You want to use a shared note-taking app. Okay, many of them like Google Keep, which by the way, if you have not tried Google Keep, it's pretty amazing. On Apple, we have Notes, Microsoft OneNote, Evernote. They let you create shared notes that can be accessed and edited by multiple people. So you just simply create a new note for your shopping list, and then you share it with everybody you want to work with. Another way, you can use a dedicated shopping list app. There's so many out there for both iPhone and Android. Some of the more popular ones, AnyList, Out of Milk, and Our Groceries. Just make a new list within the app, and then you invite others to join in. Now, with these apps, there's also a great benefit because, you know, there's always that one person who forgets things. And you're like, how could you forget the Capri Sun? How could you do that? You can also remind people the day before an event what they are supposed to bring. Yeah, love that part. All right, let's see. Sandra in Detroit, glad to have you with us.
Well, first of all, I love your show, love listening to you. And I know you do 26 miles a week. I do about 70, 75 miles a week.
Wow. Really? How do you do that?
Yeah. I'm a walker. I do a lot of walking. I walk, I play tennis, I bike. And I'm 81 years old.
You're 81 and you're doing 70 miles a week? Dang, girl. Yeah. Love you. That's awesome.
5-mile walk for me is a short walk.
That's great. Good for you.
But I'm not working all week the way you are.
Yeah, so. That's the problem.
Yeah. I really appreciate you having me on the show. I want to cut the cord like a lot of people are cutting the cord. When I wrote to you, I hadn't bought any equipment for cutting the cord yet. Now I have the equipment waiting for me. I haven't done anything with it, and I could really send back and switch out if you advise me differently.
What did you buy?
Okay, so I bought a Linksys mesh system.
Good.
I bought 2 antennas. I don't know if I need 2. I might only need 1.
I think you only need 1. You only need 1.
All right. I stayed with Comcast.
Okay.
For the internet, and what I have is 400. No, they just raised it to 500. Okay. 500 megabytes.
Okay, that's good.
For the house. 3 TVs, 2 iPads, 2 iPhones, Ring doorbell, Ring camera in the back of the house.
Okay.
So I think the 500 is enough.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's good. You'll be fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
So what about the equipment that I bought? Or do you recommend particular brands or something different?
Well, no, everything that you bought's good. Okay, you did a good job with that. Okay. And so now it comes time for you to figure out which services that you're going to sign up for.
That I know. Whether I want Netflix or whether I want
Hulu, Paramount Plus, list goes on and on.
Yeah, and I also want to have live TV. So what I bought should be able to provide that for me?
Correct.
Okay, that was my main thing. Am I getting the right stuff to get live TV? Just a couple services.
Yeah, the OTA, over the air antenna, that'll be fine.
Okay.
And then that's how you're going to get your local channels.
I only need one of those, even though I have 3 TVs.
Yeah, because they can set up repeaters. So that's not a big deal. This is something you probably want to have somebody come out and put all this together for you. Me. It's well, you can do it. Sounds like you could totally do it. But I'm just saying, throw an antenna up outside on the roof, or putting it. You can put it on inside of the house too. But you've got all the gear. But now you've got to install all the gear, and then after that, that's when you decide which services that you want. Now, one of the things that you didn't mention, and since you have an iPhone, is I would probably throw an Apple TV in that mix.
I was going to maybe buy. You mean Apple TV? You mean Apple TV streaming?
Yes, or even an Apple TV box. Okay, so in order to get Apple TV, you're going to need the box. So you buy the box.
Okay.
And then what that allows you to do is to have all your content that is on. You get Apple TV, and it gives you a whole bunch of good shows, and then but then it also gives you access to Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, whatever it is that you might want to stream at that point. But because you have iPhones and and iPads already in this Apple ecosystem, that's where I want to keep you in that Apple ecosystem and not say go buy a Sling TV or whatever it may be, or Tableau, whatever. And so just get the Apple TV box. We're going to add that to this whole mixture. And
I buy it through Amazon?
Sure, you can do that. Not a problem.
Okay.
And then you're gonna have somebody install the mesh network, the Apple TV, hook it up to the Comcast, put out, turn on the over the air antenna, install that, make sure that works. And sometimes when we start looking at these, I don't want to say complicated situations, but sometimes it's easier just to have somebody come over, and rather than you get all frustrated and trying to do it for, a day and a half, is that you can call somebody and they could probably do it, probably set all this up in, 3-4 hours, something like that, and have it all up and running for you. But you bought the right stuff, and I'm so proud of you, 70 miles a week. Dang, you're my idol. I want to be you when I'm 81. I do. Sandra, thank you for your call. Wow, here's a question I haven't gotten in a long time. Stephen in Wilmington, North Carolina. Hi there, Stephen.
All right. I'm an old-fashioned guy, not much of a tech guy, but I bought a new car, and it doesn't come with a CD. And me and my wife don't agree what we're going to listen on the radio, so we compromise by listening to books on CD while we're driving places.
Okay.
And so I'm looking for something that I can plug into my car, and we can still carry on with that tradition.
So how many years did it take you to figure out to get a CD with a book on it, and this way you guys don't bicker whether it's country or AC?
That just sort of happened because I was listening to books, and then we were on trips, and I said, "Hey, you want to listen to the book with me?" Yeah, okay, we can do that.
Right, so, that's good. All right,
it works.
So the new car, does it have Bluetooth, and does it have a USB port?
Yes, it has USB port. I know that.
Okay. All right.
And Bluetooth, it has that, but I don't know what to do with Bluetooth. So.
Well, what you can do, either way is the connection that you're going to do in order to get the CD player to work with the sound system inside the new car. Okay.
Okay.
Totally up to you. The USB port is going to probably give you a better experience, better quality. You don't have to worry about keeping the thing charged up all the time because it is wired and it's going to be getting some power from that USB port. On the other hand, the Bluetooth player is going to be cheaper, about half the price, maybe less than that. And it's portable, so you can take it from car to car. Totally up to you. But let me just tell you that if it were me, I would go with the USB port, just so I don't have to worry about, is it charged up? And then you guys are sitting there and you're driving 400 or 500 miles and you run out of juice. And then she looks at you and says, "What is wrong with Taylor Swift?" What is wrong?
Okay.
And you're like,
Okay.
I just don't want to listen to Taylor Swift. And then she's going to say, you know what, honey? Do you love me? Do you really love me? And you're going to say, yes. And she's going to say, you know what? The CD player ran out of juice. And if you really loved me, we'd turn on Taylor Swift.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, and then at that point, you know what? You got nothing to do. You have nothing in your pocket. You're done. You're done. You're listening to Taylor Swift for the next 4 or 5 hours, over and over and over again. Okay, so you're going to get the USB port version, right? That's what you're going to do. So here's what we're going to do, Stephen. I'm going to put you on hold. And beautiful Amber's screening calls today, and then she's going to send you out a link. It's about $200 versus the Bluetooth version with anti-skip and all the other good stuff is about $60. But, I'm telling you, worth the money unless you really want to listen to her favorite group that you just can't stand for 400 miles over and over and over again. Yeah. Get the USB port. Speaking of CDs, here's one that you can tell the kids. You ready? If you lose your pizza cutter, you can always use a Bryan Adams CD to cut the pizza. Why? It cuts like a knife. Oh, I know. I heard you groan at that one. All right, whether you're a seasoned traveler or someone who just likes to explore new coffee shops around town, you can be a Google Maps pro, but there could be some tricks you don't know about. Like number one, you can mark your favorite places like restaurants, parks, or any spot that you really love. Just tap on the place and then hit save. It makes it super easy to find them later, or better yet, share them with friends. Number two, offline maps. Yes. Ever find yourself in a spot with bad or no internet or no cellular? Well, what you can do is just get the directions you need, tap on the place name at the bottom, and then there's the magical button, download. I mean, this is a total lifesaver when you have no cell service, or even if you're traveling overseas, no roaming charges. Yes. And finally, number three is just my favorite. Say you're heading out and you want to have someone else to know where you're located. Maybe you're going to meet up. Just share your location. You start the navigation and then swipe up from the bottom menu. And there you can tap Share Trip Progress and choose who you want to share it with. They're going to see where you're located until you actually arrive. So it's no more like, how far away are you? When are you going to get here? Nope, it's all there. All right, still to come, we have more great phone calls you don't want to miss, as well as later on, some do's and don'ts about texting 911. I've got the scoop here on the Kim Commando Show. Hey, just a quick reminder, if you have not already, I want to give you $500. Yes, I do. I want to give you $500. And how do you do that? Well, you just go to that special address, winfromkim.com. Once again, winfromkim.com. This time you're going to win a $500 Amazon gift card. So when you give me your email address, I'm not going to sell, lease, distribute your email address to anybody ever. It's just going to be used for you to enter the contest and get one issue of my newsletter. That's it. You just have to try one issue of my newsletter, and it's free. You're going to love it. Again, that special address, winfromkim.com, winfromkim.com. All right, let's see. Kay in Bourne, Massachusetts. Hello there, Kay.
One of my questions is, if I were to get a new car, would you use your telephone for navigation, or would you pay to have the navigation as part of the car package?
I would use my phone.
Okay.
And just hook my phone into my car using Apple CarPlay, or if I'm an Android, the Android Play system. And because there's no reason to pay for a manufacturer's navigation system when I already have that built into my phone. And with the Apple CarPlay, for example, is that it's not only brings in my navigation into the whole onboard infotainment system, but I also have my text messages that I can respond to while I'm driving by just saying, hey, Siri, reply with this. You have your music, you have your contacts, and all kinds of great things like that.
Okay, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about not having navigation in my car because I've always had that until somebody mentioned it recently. When we travel to Europe, I take along a Garmin and I buy an SD card for the area we're going to.
Sure.
So there's ways around it. And I thought, well, I'm curious what Kim thinks about that.
Well, if you do go to Europe next time, you don't necessarily need to bring the GPS and the SD card and all that other stuff. Is that when you are in the hotel, wherever you are, you have free Wi-Fi or you're on the Wi-Fi, is that you will go say, how do I get from point A to point B, whether it's on car, bus, train, whatever it may be. And then you can, whether you're on Google Maps or now Apple Maps, is that you can download all these maps for what's called offline use. And offline use is just that you're not going to be using the expensive cellular plan or data roaming charges or whatever it may be when you're not in the country. And it's going to be solely giving you that map as if you were offline. And so you're not using an internet connection for that.
Okay. Very good. Yes. My other question is, and you touched briefly on it, is how safe are the password saving apps? I do use one. I use 1Password. I'm addicted to it, I guess, at this point, or used to it, or would never want to give it up. But it's concerning. How safe are these password apps?
We took a look at the various password saving apps. We looked at 1Password, LastPass, there's KeePass, there just seems to be a whole bunch of them out there, Dashlane, whatever it may be. We actually settled on not 1Password, we settled on Keeper Security. We found it to be better, more robust. You can also easily share passwords. You can put this as part of your estate documents, good things like that. They are safe. You have to make sure that you have a good, solid password management program. Never want to use one for free. Okay, that's just bad news. You want to be able to pay for this. And that's where we settled on Keeper Security. So if you go to keepersecurity.com/Kim, you can get 50% off. They have personal family plans as well as enterprise level plans, by the way. But as for me, I use Keeper Security. It's the one that I recommend. And it's one that I would hope that you'd be using too. And again, that's keepersecurity.com/Kim. And once again, your deal is you get 50% off. I think it's just fascinating that we talk about subscriptions for cars, by the way. And, cars are going subscription. I'm talking about like whole cars you can subscribe to. Like, for example, Volvo has a program that's $600 to $800 a month. That includes insurance, maintenance, and then you can swap cars every 4 months. Audi has a similar program, Book by Cadillac, Canvas by Ford Credit. Man, I'm telling you, everything is subscription nowadays. Okay, imagine this. A criminal breaks into your house and they don't know that you're there, but you're hiding, you're panicking, you're in the closet, but you have your phone. Should you call or text 911? Are you going to call or text 911? Okay. A text message, obviously, because you don't want anybody to hear your voice, but there's a catch. An emergency where you cannot talk, a text to 911 might be safer, but here's the rub. It's not as accurate as actually calling 911. An NBC investigation found that a text to 911 doesn't always reveal the location. And without that location data, first responders can't do anything to help you. So what's the workaround? Here's what you need to know. Text your address to 911 to be on the safe side, okay? And then you can always keep the line open without speaking if you do call them. They're going to dispatch help to verify if there is a problem or not. But again, just always put that address there. Hey, don't forget to enter to win that brand new iPhone. You want to go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com, and good luck.